Hello, everybody. I know it has been a while. I hope you're doing good. I think it's almost been maybe a year since I've made a video, outside of like meditations on my channel. And clearly, I'm in a new space. My chair is still super squeaky. Okay. But I am finally in a place where I feel ready to make more content and I have a lot to say and I haven't forgot about my reaction channel. I'm definitely going to be putting out content there. So thank you for everybody that's already subscribed over there. Um, a lot of really exciting changes going on in my life. Like always, we're always evolving, we're always growing. But today I want to talk about a few things. And again, none of my videos are scripted. I'm speaking off of experience at this point now. I've been making YouTube videos for like 5 years, okay? And helping so many people with mindset that I have gained a lot of perspective and a lot of experience. And obviously like gone through my own changes, okay? But there's a few things that I want to answer in today's video that I think are really important for anybody that is new to mindset. And if you're not, it's going to be a good refresher and also answer a lot of questions. Because in my opinion, when it comes to mindset and anything that you apply, it should make sense. So I should be understanding why I am applying what I'm applying based off of what has occurred and the changes that are going to occur within me that are going to allow for me to create new results. Everything should make sense. So hopefully this video gives you clarity on some of the changes you may experience as you go about your journey of shifting your identity and changing your beliefs and normalizing new outcomes in your life. And of course, I also want to mention this here. A lot of my content is self-help based, but with the things that I'm about to talk about right now, if you feel uncomfortable in your body doing this on your own, please seek professional help as well too. Okay, so there are so many different specialists and therapists that can help you feel comfortable and safe in your body as you go through the changes that I'm about to talk about. And so don't shy away from that if you get overwhelmed, because everybody just wants you to feel safe, comfortable, and secure within your body. And yeah, that could be a part of your own journey. But let's get into today's topics. I'm going to list them out first, and then we'll go over each one of them. So I want to talk about the importance of nervous system regulation and how that relates to adjusting your beliefs. That coincides with if you're sleeping with nighttime recordings on, why you may be getting some very weird, scary dreams. Okay. And I'm going to explain that. I've explained in the past, but I have a much deeper explanation now based off of my own experiences. And I also am going to expand on once you're awake, why nervous system regulation is important. Okay. But I'm going to leave that for the last topic. And again, the goal here, before we even get into all this stuff, I just want to make it really clear. The goal here is not to have to be doing these practices every day for the rest of your life. We hold beliefs due to the experiences that we've gone through in life. So our mind has a lot of supporting evidence to the beliefs that we currently hold. And so to create a belief change, it does take quite a bit of persistence and it does take quite a bit of discipline. But at the same token, once you make that change, it's going to feel like a not trying process. And the reason why I say that is because right now, okay, if you're currently in an identity and you're noticing that you're getting intrusive thoughts and intrusive behaviors and patterns that are occurring that seem out of your control, that's automatically occurring. You're not trying to make those things happen. You're just noticing that you're attracted to similar people, similar situations, you're giving similar reactions, and similar patterns are unfolding, right? So you're not trying to make that happen. When you get into a new belief system, it's going to be the same experience, except augmented towards what you actually want to experience. So, thoughts that are actually productive, perceptions that are actually productive, behaviors that are actually productive, that allow for you to also behaviorally show up and maintain, entertain, and sustain what you actually want to experience. All right. With that also being said, I'm going to throw in this bonus point here. That means you don't really need to adopt beliefs like believing in your ability to manifest. Okay. I don't really love the word manifesting anymore. I've always said on my channel that I'm a mindset coach, and I've obviously dabbled in those topics, and you can absolutely attract things into your life. I don't care who wants to argue me on that point. Okay. I'm not willing to argue with anybody. This is my opinion. If you don't agree with it, it's fine. Okay. I'm speaking based off my experience. The reason why I don't love the word manifest is because the very first point that I started with is everything you do should make sense. And oftentimes people associate the word manifest with being delusional. I'm going to explain to you in this video the only part that should feel delusional when it comes to changing your beliefs and creating what you want. Okay. I also understand that the word manifest means to create. And so what you're really manifesting is a version of you that can show up differently, respond differently, and create new results. Okay. So once you realize that, you're golden. Okay. And that's why I don't love making content about focusing on results. And all of my content, I've said, do not focus on a specific outcome until you're in an identity that supports that outcome. And oftentimes, when you're already in that identity, you're not even going to really need to do techniques because you're going to naturally be producing the thoughts, behaviors, and awarenesses associated with that type of experience because it would be normalized for you. All right. So, okay, I have a lot to say, you guys. Okay, I've been gone for a while. Okay, so buckle up. The first topic we're going to talk about is nervous system regulation and why it is so important. Okay, you cannot skip nervous system regulation if you are doing belief work. All right, and I'm going to really go hard on this point because, like I was saying at the beginning, the goal here is for you to go through this change in a way that is comfortable. And that means you have to take into account all the variables that go into making this change. One very, very important variable, and I'm going to explain why it's important, is your nervous system. All right. So the reason why it's important is I already touched on this point. The beliefs that you hold are supported, they were given to you through the life experiences that you've had up to this point. Your brain remembers those experiences. You may not consciously remember them, but your mind is keeping record of the experiences that you've gone through. All right. So I'm going to pick a random belief right now, and I'm going to explain and illustrate a point with why nervous system regulation is important with a belief. All right. We're just going to pick a random one. I normally talk about relationships, so let's talk about commitment. All right. So let's say like the belief is it's normal for me to receive commitment. Okay. I'm gonna add some context to that, but we'll keep that's a very general. Okay, I would probably do something like it's becoming normal for me to receive commitment from the right people. Okay, I'll explain that in a moment. But okay, the belief it's normal for me to receive commitment. All right. So let's say somebody's trying to adopt that belief. And prior to adopting that belief, they have had multiple relationship experiences where it never actually progressed to commitment. And they also have a childhood experience of one of their parents being not present in their life. Okay. Let's say particularly, okay, the parent that wasn't present happens to be the gender they're attracted to. Okay. So their current belief would be, it's not normal for me to receive commitment. Okay, their initial experience with relationships as an absent parent with the gender that they're attracted to. Okay, so that's obviously going to impact them. And then the subsequent adult experiences of not receiving commitment in those relationships further reinforce that belief. Okay, so if that person tried to just jump to receiving commitment is totally normal for me, they run a very huge risk of being extremely triggered. I'm not even going to say a risk. They would be triggered. Okay, 100%. And the reason why is because as that person would try to tell themselves, it's normal for me to receive commitment, Their brain is hearing this new belief and reflecting on all the experiences where that statement is not true. Okay. Also, that's a big jump. Okay. So the better approach would be it's becoming normal for me to receive commitment. And again, like I said, from the right people. Okay. Taking that growth approach is going to really create the space for your body to acclimate to this new way of thinking. But the reason why it's triggering and why you need to do nervous system regulation is because when you're affirming, okay, again, somebody jumping to that belief, it's normal for me to always receive commitment. When they're affirming that, subconsciously, their mind is reflecting on all the experiences where that statement wasn't true. As it's reflecting on all those experiences where that statement was not true, it's bringing up the emotions and feelings associated to those statements. Okay, and this leads to a cascade of different behavioral things that occur. I'm going to explain in a second. So that's why, one, it may feel a little delusional to affirm that. Okay, this is the only part that feels delusional. Okay, and I'm going to, again, I'll expand on that. It may feel a little delusional to affirm that. Okay, but it's also going to be very triggering because your mind is quite literally saying, this is not true for us. Here's all the experiences that you've had that prove that this is not true. And if you start to believe this, you're going to get hurt because of this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason. And generally, the emotions associated to those experiences start coming up. Not very fun. The second thing that happens is if that person persists, they will then start to search in their reality for evidence of what they actually believe. So if their actual belief is, I don't receive commitment, then they're going to find that they start getting tons of intrusive thoughts and tons of checking behaviors. And this is typically what a lot of people struggle with. Why? Because their mind is rejecting this belief and searching for evidence of what they actually do believe. Okay. So when that is going on, okay, and again, the approach that you take is really important. When that is going on, you need to understand that when you're adjusting beliefs, there are a lot of subconscious processes that are going on, and essentially your body is trying to protect you. Okay. You need to deliberately induce states of relaxation into your body and regulate your nervous system so that your body can begin to feel safe with this way of identifying. And generally, what I've said on my channel is do breath work morning and nighttime, somewhere in the middle of the day if you can make time for it. And then also with the intrusive thoughts and behaviors that you're getting during the day, make sure you design a short little meditation to address what you're currently consciously getting mentally wrapped up in. Aside from that, okay, another point that I made in explaining all this is the growth approach. So if you can take yourself into context, okay, and your experiences into context, the best approach is going to be to design statements that meet you where you are and allow for you to grow into somebody new. Okay, the point here is not to just jump to new beliefs. All right. The point is to get to a place where your mind can start to accept this belief, which means you need to relax your body enough and persist in these beliefs long enough for your mind to accept it. And then once it begins to accept it, as you persist, you're going to naturally search for evidence to support this new way of identifying. You're going to start perceiving your reality differently. You're going to start behaving differently. You're going to start entertaining new things. You're going to be responding to things differently. By the time you gather enough evidence to support this belief, you're going to naturally transition over into that way of identifying. All right. So a huge portion of that is regulating your nervous system. Okay. Please do not skip that. Please do not skip that. And I know like doing breath work is annoying sometimes. And there's so many ways to regulate your nervous system. And again, if you're really struggling, I would also reach out and get professional help as well too with like a somatic type of therapist. But it is crucial. It is crucial for making sure that you feel comfortable and safe in your body. Because if you don't do that nervous system regulation, you're going to be triggered and you're going to really not feel good or safe in your body. And I don't want that for you. All right. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, again, after nervous system regulation, let me see. I'm going based off my memory now. I didn't have a script. Let me see if I can get back into it. It's been a while since I made a video. Um, when you are adopting beliefs, okay, the wording really, really matters. And so the dreams that you have, okay, again, we're going to explain why you may be getting certain dreams. It kind of relates to the intrusive thoughts that you have, all right? Again, there's a lot of subconscious processes going on, and you have a lifetime of history to support what you believe. When people sleep with affirmation recordings on, typically at the beginning, they get really kind of weird dreams, especially if the beliefs that they're listening to touch on things that need to be adjusted. And also if the wording of the beliefs is too far from where they currently are. Okay. So if you've ever gotten like a nightmare from a nightly recording, or like a really vivid, odd dream of like people you haven't thought about in a long time, or like environments that you grew up in, okay, what is happening is you're introducing new beliefs into your mind, and your mind is generating visual dreams to reject those beliefs. And it usually doesn't feel good because your body's trying to protect you because it's scared of you thinking and adopting this new way of identifying. Okay. If this is going on, okay, it's not a bad sign, but it does show that like you're actually touching on beliefs that need to be adjusted. Okay. Again, if that occurs, you need to do nervous system regulation during the day. Because when you wake up, even though you're not listening to the nighttime recording anymore, your mind is still processing all the beliefs that you listened to throughout the night, which is why you may get random weird feelings popping up during the day, or like intrusive thoughts of people you haven't thought about in a while. Your mind is still processing the belief work. So when you're, again, anything, the main point that I want you to take away from this video is if you're doing belief work, your number one goal needs to be one, to make sure that the wording is good. Okay, it's adjusted in an appropriate way for you. So each statement that you're saying you feel comfortable with. But two, you need to make sure that you are inducing the most amount of relaxation as possible. You need to help your body feel safe with this new way of identifying and new way of thinking, especially if you're getting weird, wonky dreams. Additionally, if you are getting weird, wonky dreams and you're starting to feel overwhelmed, don't force yourself to do it every night. Take a break. Okay, so, really honor your body and assess where you are and make the appropriate adjustments. If you can't sleep with the nighttime recording on, do not sacrifice your sleep. Okay, sleep is number one, because if you're not getting enough sleep, intrinsically, your nervous system is going to be dysregulated. Okay, so if you struggle to sleep with them on at night, then listen to it during the day when you're doing busy tasks, when you're working out, when you're cleaning, when you're cooking. Just, get your mind used to the beliefs and then try and sleep with it once you have kind of acclimated to the statements, and ease yourself into it. Again, it doesn't need to be on headphones. I personally prefer it on headphones. It doesn't need to be on headphones though. And it doesn't have to be loud. Okay, so you just want it playing loud enough to where if you really closely listen, you can hear the statements. All right. But again, if you're getting those weird dreams, it is just your body giving a physiological response to the beliefs that you're listening to and reflecting on experiences and generating visuals to essentially say that these beliefs aren't true. All right. If you can realize that is occurring, one, check the statements and adjust the wording in a way that you're comfortable with. Two, incorporate nervous system regulation into your daily routine. And three, take breaks when you feel comfortable, okay, and you don't overwhelm yourself. Then you're going to notice that as you persist, the dreams start to really change and reflect the beliefs that you're listening to at nighttime. As that begins to occur, what should happen is as you wake up, you start perceiving your reality differently. You start having new thoughts. You start understanding past experiences differently. You start giving things new context and letting go of previous things. You start valuing things differently in front of you, and you start really essentially showing up differently because your beliefs are driving your behaviors. So the whole point to any belief work is not to keep it within the conscious realm, but to get it down into how you are subconsciously identified into the core of your identity so that you naturally start producing new behaviors and ways of operating that allow for you to create the results that you actually want to experience in your life. Okay. So essentially what I'm saying here is the weird wonky dreams aren't bad. They're just showing you that whatever you're listening to is actually touching on something that needs to be adjusted. And I gave you a few points to follow if that's occurring so that you can make the appropriate adjustments to go through this change as comfortably as possible. All right. Okay. The last thing, okay, during the day, which I already kind of touched on this a little bit, okay, if you're getting intrusive thoughts and behaviors, all right, you need to address that. I don't know if this was the third point. I can't remember at this point, okay? If it's not the third point, I'll make another video about the third point. But if you're getting intrusive thoughts and behaviors during the day, you need to address that. When I work with somebody, typically what I have them do is for a week, track their intrusive thoughts and behaviors. So just on your phone, in your notes app, okay? Just each, for a week, anytime you notice an intrusive thought behavior pop up, just make note of it. Write the thought down, write the behavior down. At the end of the week, go through what occurred during the week and figure out what am I mentally getting caught up on, right? And when you're thinking about beliefs, do not do anything like this specific person loves me. That's not a belief, that's obsession. Okay, that's a result. All right. I'm not going to argue with any of you. You want to think about concepts. Okay, so what would I need to believe to where I wouldn't be triggered about this, worried about it, or materializing this behavior? Right? So let's say during the week, you're really struggling with is this person going to talk to me? Do they like me? Okay. So a good grounding belief to adjust that is I'm realizing I never have to wait for somebody to like me, acknowledge me, or communicate with me. It's becoming normal for the right people to express love and affection towards me. I'm beginning to realize that I never have to wonder or compete for somebody's love. All right. So you want to think about adopting beliefs that are going to allow for you to intrinsically show up in a way to where you wouldn't have those triggers and you also wouldn't be entertaining people, places, or things that aren't worth your time. Okay. And it would really allow for you to set a new example in your life. Okay. So intrusive thoughts and behaviors need to be dealt with. And if you're having intrusive thoughts and behaviors, if you do that little exercise that I just said, what I would recommend is you really should be doing nervous system regulation every day. So even if you're not sleeping with the nighttime recording on, you're going to want to do the nervous system regulation in some form or fashion. Okay. But what I find most effective is to do something like breath work. And then after the breath work is done for about 5 to 10 minutes, meditate on beliefs that specifically address your current triggers, intrusive thoughts, and intrusive behaviors. So at nighttime, you're addressing the deeper foundational aspects of your belief system that are leading to or causing you to entertain unhealthy people, unhealthy circumstances, perpetuate unhealthy patterns in your life. And then during the day, you're addressing where you're currently mentally getting hooked up on, okay? While also making sure you're doing nervous system regulation. And everything that I'm saying here is for you to understand what's going on in your mind, okay? When you're using beliefs at nighttime or when you're doing any sort of belief work, let's say you want to fix a relationship or, grow in your career or I don't know, excel in a particular sport, okay, or increase health, okay? When it comes to changing your beliefs, you want to look at your current set of circumstances, okay? You want to look at the history with this area of your life. And instead of getting caught up on the specific people, places, and things, you want to look at the patterns, okay? So what do I believe about myself in this area of my life that is causing me to get hooked up in these patterns? And relationships, it's quite layered. So there's beliefs that you hold about yourself, your worth, your value, your wants and needs being met, boundaries, right? There's also beliefs surrounding the type of gender that you're attracted to, um, intimacy, affection, normalizing getting what you want, being seen, being heard, communicating in healthy ways. An additional layer that factors into relationships is the example your parents set and their individual relationship with you. So if negative things occurred in your past and in your upbringing, and one or both of those people weren't present or they were present in a way that wasn't healthy, your mom is the, template for beliefs you hold about women and your dad is the template for beliefs that you hold about men. Okay, so those are some factors that also play into relationships as well too. All right. For others areas of your life, foundations of your childhood play a factor in it, right? So like if it wasn't a normal experience for my wants and needs to be met growing up, then I'm probably going to have a difficult time figuring out what I want and getting what I need within a career or within a schooling environment or within social groups. Or like if I was in a household where there was no boundaries, okay, then I'm going to find that that affects me in relationships, but that also affects me in work where maybe I'm over accepting responsibility, or in friendships where I'm just intrinsically forming not the healthiest friendships because I'm not able to uphold boundaries, right? So your childhood is a big foundation, okay, that you may need to address as well too. But in each area of your life, there's going to be particular aspects of your belief system that need to be addressed, right? Like in work, it could be skill acquisition, performance, speaking, teamwork, right? And friendships, it's going to be kind of similar to romance, but just not as deep of intimacy, okay? Money is going to have its own belief system as well too, but a lot of these things, if you really think about it, are intrinsically tied to having your wants and needs being met, being able to uphold boundaries, normalizing getting what you want, right, at a very base level. And then there's some layers to it as well too. So just make sure when you're addressing your beliefs, you're not just obsessing over specific people or specific outcomes. You want to think about these things as concepts. You want to think about it like, who do I need to become where creating this desired outcome is a normal experience for me? What belief system do I need to start taking on? And for a majority, pretty much everybody, the best approach is going to be taking a growth process, i.e., statements like, I'm starting to accept, I'm starting to believe, it's becoming normal, I'm realizing, I am normalizing. Again, the point here is not to jump to new beliefs. It's to get to a place where your mind can start to accept these beliefs. And then as you persist, it's going to naturally search for evidence. And once it gathers enough, you're going to lock into this way of identifying. It's very much like working out. Okay. So, like, the reason why you need to figure out what beliefs you want to adjust, I'm going to use an example now. Okay. And if y'all know me, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I've been really big on fitness. Okay. I've gone through quite a transformation. I think I posted it. Actually, I did post it on the community tab. Okay. So, y'all know. But I view mindset very much like the gym. Okay. So like, I don't know, let's say if I want to grow my booty, okay, but I just go into the gym and I do a full body workout every time, then I'm gonna kind of generally feel better, but I'm not gonna see the actual result that I want, right? Whereas if I go into the gym knowing that I want to grow my chest, okay, and I'm doing workouts that specifically target that area of my body, all I need to do is go on with the appropriate workouts, okay? The workout is going to be the stimulus, okay? As I provide it and as I'm consistent, the muscle is going to naturally grow, right? I don't have to sit here and think about the muscle fibers growing. I don't have to sit here and think about the recovery. My body is naturally going to change. It's the same thing with mindset. As you influence yourself with new beliefs, your body is going to begin to respond to it and naturally gather the evidence to support this way of identifying until you've gathered enough to actually become this person and the change really solidifies in. All you need to do is induce enough relaxation in your body so it doesn't reject this belief system and word the belief system in a way that's comfortable for you. Okay. Um, Let me see if there's anything else I want to say. No, I think that's a good like basic for now. I have a lot of content coming, you guys. I have a lot to say, especially on the reaction channel. It's nice to see you though. I hope you've been good, and I hope that this video answered questions about why nervous system regulation is so important, why you may be having some weird wonky dreams, and making sure that you deal with intrusive thoughts and behaviors, okay, during the day. And I explained it's not a trying process. You don't even need to really believe in the word manifesting. Okay. Just focus on adopting healthy beliefs. All right. You got this. Have a good day. Bye.